The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us on this Back to Work and Back to School Monday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Making news around the world this morning, King Charles III addressed Parliament today for the first time since he became monarch. His address comes just a day after Queen Elizabeth's coffin made its way to Edinburgh. Mourners will be able to see the coffin while it lies in state for 24 hours in St. Giles Cathedral before it moves to London. King Charles says he's ready to follow in his mother's footsteps.
She set an example of selfless duty, which, with God's help and your counsels, I am resolved faithfully to follow.
The Queen's funeral will take place on September 19th. That is next Monday, a week from today.
We're following some breaking news this morning. A person was killed after being hit by a car just south of Shafter. CHP says it happened on Central Valley Highway, also known as Santa Fe Way, just after 2 o'clock this morning. The northbound lanes of the Central Valley Highway have been closed, so avoid the area if you can. And this morning, a man is fighting for his life after he was hit by a car in central Bakersfield. It happened last night around 10:45 on P Street. Police say the man was hit in the road and the driver took off. Investigators say speed appears to be a factor, and they're still trying to figure out if alcohol was involved.
And still no update this morning on a woman who was hurt in a hit-and-run crash in South Bakersfield over the weekend. It happened Saturday afternoon at South Union Avenue and Adams Street. CHP says a woman was hit by a red sedan that took off after the crash. Our photojournalist reports the woman did not appear to be in a crosswalk. No word on the victim's condition this morning.
Gun violence continues in Kern County as yet another person was shot and killed over the weekend. Sheriff's deputies say 2 people were shot early Saturday in Rosamond. Officials say 1 man was killed in the shooting. Another kid was shot and wounded. This is the 74th killing in Kern County so far this year.
And a homicide investigation continues this morning southwest of Bakersfield. The Kern County Sheriff's Office says detectives were called to Highway 119 just before 4:30 Friday afternoon. That's just east of Interstate 5. It's not known what prompted the call. All KCSO would say is that it's investigating the deaths of 2 people.
5:05 is our time now, and in news around town. What you gonna do, Kern County? KCSO could be coming to television screens across the nation.
A Board of Supervisors vote is all that stands between KCSO and the producers of the TV series Cops.
So Sheriff Donnie Youngblood submitted a letter to the Board of Supervisors asking for their approval of the agreement. In the letter, Youngblood says featuring deputies on the program would help recruitment and enhance transparency. If the agreement is approved, KCSO would grant camera crews access to deputies and other sheriff's office personnel. The episodes would appear on the Fox Nation streaming service later. The Board of Supervisors will vote on the item during tomorrow's meeting.
The 8th annual First Responders Appreciation Car Show returned to Bakersfield this weekend.
Yeah, drivers showed off their classic rides Saturday, and vendors sold food and trinkets at the annual meetup.
Organizers for the event select a new charity every year, and the money from this year's event will go to the California Highway Patrol's Explorers program.
The California Highway Patrol, it's always been a passion. I always looked up to them as like heroes in a sense.
Eric Gona took over for founder Lugnut Larry after he passed away from cancer 2 years ago. Gona says the group expects to raise thousands of dollars for charity when the event wraps up. Traffic news for you. There are some closures happening this week you need to know about. Closures along the I-5 from the damages from the route fire as those damages are still being repaired. Northbound lanes between Lake Hughes Road and Templin Highway are taking place in the mornings from midnight until 10 a.m. through Wednesday to complete the work. Again, this is the northbound side of the highway, but it could also affect the southbound traffic. Take a look at this picture of the work being done by Caltrans. Drivers headed to LA from Bakersfield will also see those delays because 2 southbound lanes of the 5 will be closed during those times as well.
So that's down south, but here in Bakersfield, multiple road closures and construction projects begin today. Workers will begin a pavement rehabilitation project on California Avenue between Union and Washington from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, until December 16th. And then Stockdale Highway will be closed in both directions between McDonald Way and North Stein Road between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. through Wednesday for the removal of false work. And then all northbound lanes of Highway 99 between Ming Avenue and the 58 will be closed between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. starting today through Thursday for the installation of false work. So a lot of road projects happening around town. Americans across the country paused yesterday to remember those who lost their lives on 9/11. President Biden marked the 21st anniversary at the Pentagon, where he vowed to fight terrorism and fight for democracy. NBC's Drew Petrimo reports from Washington.
We remember 9/11, the horror.
All across the country, Americans came together to remember. At Ground Zero in New York City, the pain of family members still deep 21 years later.
Daughter, Maria Ramirez. Maria, I don't know when this weight in my chest is gonna go away, but it's gonna be there, I guess, until they lay me down beside you.
Uncle Jimmy, I'm so proud to be named after you. You're my hero.
At the World Trade Center site, where more than 2,700 people lost their lives, Vice President Kamala Harris joined victims honoring their loved ones.
Karen J. Wagner.
At the Pentagon, where another 184 people were killed on 9/11, President Biden vowed to defend the nation from terrorism.
It took 10 years to hunt down and kill Osama bin Laden, but we did.
Finally, at a crash site at an open field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the First Lady honored the 40 passengers and crew of United Flight 93.
To the memories that live on in us each day, this is the legacy we must carry forward.
In cities and towns from coast to coast, the country paused to remember and renew the vow to never forget. Even though we are 21 years removed from this tragedy, lives are still being lost. Congress recently passed a bill to provide health care coverage for rescue workers who were exposed to toxic dust and fumes and smoke after the attack. Reporting in Washington, I'm Drew Petrimo, NBC News.
Dozens of motorcyclists, veterans, and their families came out to support the 9/11 Memorial Support Our Troops Ride and Resource event yesterday. Dozens of drivers geared up at the Harley-Davidson motorcycle shop in North Bakersfield. Both veterans and patriots came out to honor the fallen. The message organizers say the community should remember is the concept of unity.
Remember who we were on September 12th, 2001? The day after this event happened. We weren't separated by religion or color or anything else. We were united. We were Americans.
There are resources available for veterans in need in our community. You can visit our website, kget.com, for more information.
Fire crews are working to gain containment on the Mosquito fire as thousands remain evacuated in Placer and El Dorado counties. The deputy is driving towards the flames to help rescue an elderly couple that called for help. The couple got stranded inside the fire line with their 2 dogs and had no way to evacuate because their car would not start. At one point, you can see the fire burning on both sides of the deputy's car. Fortunately, they were all able to safely get out. First responders are reminding everyone about the importance of following evacuation orders as soon as they are given.
We want people to know that we would not pull them out of their homes unless there was still a significant threat to their life and safety.
The Mosquito fire has burned more than 46,000 acres. Cal Fire says nearly 6,000 structures continue to be threatened by the flames. But for the first time since the fire ignited last Tuesday, firefighters are starting to establish a containment line. It is now currently 10% contained.
Firefighters continue to improve containment on the Fairview Fire in the city of Hemet down south. The flames are now 49% contained, and the fire is 28,000 acres. The fire's wreaked havoc across Riverside County since it was first spotted last Monday. 2 people were found dead in a car that was destroyed by the fast-moving flames, and at least one other person was injured. 30 structures have been destroyed. Evacuation orders and warnings are in place, along with road closures to keep people out of Hemet as firefighters battle this blaze. No word yet on how the fire started.
3 burglary suspects were caught taking advantage of people fleeing that fire, and deputies arrested these Fairview Fire burglars after catching them red-handed inside an empty home. Officials say they took 31-year-old Devin Hooker, 42-year-old John Blackwood, and 50-year-old Michael Serrano into custody Saturday afternoon after residents called 911 reporting suspicious activity. The deputies found one of the suspects in a parked car and the other two inside a home that had been broken into. All three were arrested and booked on charges of burglary and looting in an evacuation area.
And with fires here in California, a different sort of climate effect happening internationally. Scientists say they're shocked at what they're seeing currently out of Greenland. The world's largest island experienced a significant late-season melting event this past week. Experts say roughly a third of the Greenland ice sheet has seen widespread melting. That's an area larger than France. It's the largest ever melting recorded this late in the year and over double any previous melting event in the month of September. This year's late season melting could have consequences for the ice sheet next year. The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.